I'm Henrik Müller. I'm the Managing Director of Fleming's Mayfair Hotel. And I'm supporting the charity since many years as a volunteer, as a fundraiser, and now as a trustee as well. Very long story, very short. I came across the charity actually in the first week of the lockdown. I was moved into the hotel to look after a closed hotel. And I walked around one Friday afternoon. There was nobody on the street, and somehow I came to Trafalgar Square, and I saw a lot of people around, and I was wondering what it was. And literally, I approached the people, and in 30 seconds, I had a high vest on, and I was unpacking chocolate bars and stacking up fruits, and I was helping out. And there was a long line of about 100 people who were desperate need for food. And since then, if I'm in town, I come literally every Friday afternoon to the charity as a volunteer.
Oh, and how does it make you feel?
It's very difficult to describe, you know, if you see people queuing, and I'm being very often asked why, you know, is everybody needs the food who queues? Because now in today's time, I mean, since the pandemic, the queues are longer, you know. And 2 weeks ago, we did a record at the charity. We served 520 meals. I always say if people queue in rain, in snow, in storm, in heat for hours, you're desperate. And even if, you know, if from the 100 people you serve, you make one happy, for me it's already enough. But I know there are many more people I make happy. It hits your heart, I have to say. And every Friday it's the same. And it draws me to this charity every Friday to come, see the faces, and see also the desperate faces who look at you and thank you. And in the last 12 months, we have seen also more women with children. And that is sometimes very heartbreaking. If I think we know we're living in a G7 country, we have this in our society. I found this quite disturbing, and so if you see this, it sometimes breaks my heart. I look at the child and would love to help more, but I think what we do in already giving out the food, trying to raise the money, I think that's already a little token towards this. You just heard it inside in the room. Food is love. You know, share your food and share your love. And I think the world, and we live today, and I know we live today in a much more crazier world than we lived maybe 10 or 20 years ago, and this from an older guy. I think it's important to look after people and share your love and share your thoughts and share your wisdom, and yeah.
My name is Donna Brown, and I'm a brand visionary. I'm an author and a transformational speaker.
Amazing. And you said something about food is love. I would love you to develop on that, please, because I love that expression.
Oh, thank you. It doesn't belong to me. I think it's one of the biggest hashtags out there around food, but it just really hits to the core of things. You know, when you think of your first meals with your mother, when you're ever upset and somebody makes you a tea, or you're celebrating a special occasion with your friends, or, you know, anything that you do. Food is love is my favorite hashtag of all time. I think that it's such a powerful medium of expression, and everybody eats. Everybody cooks food, serves food, eats food, and so it's a very powerful medium to pass messages of love and caring and generosity and compassion. We all have in mind, you know, our mother who made us our favorite thing, or celebrations with friends, or special occasions, or meals that we make for our children. We know how much love and care we can put into a meal, and that the people who receive that know that. So I feel that whether we've made it ourselves or whether we're distributing it or serving it, you can always put that intention of love in food.
Amazing. And what brings you to this charity, and what do you know about their work?
I love this charity. Salim is a powerhouse. He has such a clear vision, and he's so powerful in its execution of doing something that's very powerful, yet very lean and there's no extra bit, there's no fluff. It's just service, service, service. And to be a part of his group, I've been able to be part of the distribution on the Fridays in Charing Cross, and the atmosphere is incredible. The people are lovely, the volunteers are lovely. He takes care of everyone, and I think for me anyways, to see this compassion in action is very, very powerful and very inspiring.
While interacting with people on the Fridays, is there anything that attracted your attention or anything that made you feel very emotional about it?
It is a moving experience because a lot of people come from, corporate volunteers or people who are long-term volunteers. Some are students, some are housewives, some are CEOs. There's a mixture of volunteers, but you're all wearing very simple clothes. You're wearing high-vis vests, and then the people that you're serving, there's no difference between their needs and our needs. It's just often just circumstances that they're in the situation that they're in and that I'm in the situation that I'm in. So there's nothing that separates us. And what I found really, really powerful about being part of the food distribution is not the giving of the food, but it's making eye contact, saying, hello, how are you? I hope you enjoy this food. Would you like this or would you like that? Because what's lovely about this charity is they also provide 2 days worth of food autonomy, which is really important. It's not just a single meal and it's not all prepackaged. So you're not forced to take things that you don't want. So people have agency, people have choice. They can have the things they like. They don't have to take things they don't want because there can be sort of a loss of dignity in that, of just giving people, you should be grateful just because it's food, even if it's something you would never eat for whatever reasons. And so I found that also this sensation of choice, but also that chance to connect with the people who were receiving the meals.
I have a background in healthcare, initially a pharmacist, but then later on health psychology. I did a PhD at King's, just round the corner. And I've been working in healthcare consulting for the last 25 years. But I've always held a sort of undying interest in photography and documentary photography. And I did a project. I approached Salim and said, could I do a project on homelessness in London? This was 2 years ago. What I didn't expect was the impact it had on me to see how these homeless people were so desperate. And I thought to myself, I've been successful in life, I'm happy and contented, I have what I want. Why have I never done anything to help these people? I look at Salim and what he does and how giving he is, and I felt a real sense of guilt. And I thought I want to help beyond just the project I'm doing. So I had a 6-week project for a master's at Falmouth University, but 2 years later I'm still here. That project is long finished, and I'm looking to find ways that I can help Salim. And I realized that the best way to help him was to find his strengths and look at what he's done to this charity and see if we can find a way of expanding it out across other urban areas. One of the problems we've seen with the bigger charities is they do magazines that are more like annual accounts. It's really a sort of showcase for, we've done this, we've done that, we're so clever, we're so wonderful, and it's also a lot of accounting because they have large overheads. Whereas what we do, everybody is a volunteer, and actually we are really close at the sort of edge of dealing with the homeless people on the streets. And so we're learning about their real day-to-day challenges. I first learned this when I brought a number of them to my own home. I photographed them, interviewed them, and filmed them. And the stories were heartbreaking. And I decided then I've sort of adopted a couple of them. I helped, not in a real sense, but I helped them out. But more than that, I wanted to create a program where we took some of this learning and really made it actionable for the future, and create a forum of other charities, other grassroots charities, small ones. The problem is that we don't communicate with other grassroots charities, and we tend to have very little voice compared to the large charities. But I think if we can create a forum, a foundation of the small charities, maybe 20 or 30 with a very similar ethos, we'll be able to go to government, we'll be able to make demands about what the government should be doing more and maybe helping them in a way that probably is not happening at the moment. Well, no, a lot of the things actually you will see in the magazine. So very specifically, it's really like what you'd call an edited academic book, really, but just in miniature. So there are 18 articles. Each one of those articles is a series of desk research, but also the research that we did by asking the homeless people themselves and by our experience in the charity. So take one example, talking about trauma. People tend to imagine, when we've asked people on the street, not homeless people, just other people, what do you think the biggest problem of homeless is? They are mostly drugs. We think 70% of people are on drugs. Actually, we've done our own poll. It was actually 7%, not 70%. And nearly every one of them has had a series of traumatic events which they were leading relatively normal and stable lives, and then something would happen. Maybe a child might pass away, or maybe they get divorced, or maybe they have an industrial accident, and two or three of these things happen in succession, and that person just falls off a cliff, really, in terms of their confidence, of their money. Suddenly they don't find they've got a home. So more than ever, I think it's helping people get back onto a place they were before. Not that they've never been there, but actually help them overcome the issues that have caused a lot of the trauma. The first thing is to get some sort of confidence and self-belief back. Often these people feel that life doesn't hold any potential for them. So they've lost their confidence, they don't know how to interact in the world, and having someone, sometimes it's just about someone who actually listens to them. And sometimes it's someone who just gives them that vital piece of information that they, in their own way, can't go about. They don't have access to computers and to the internet. So sometimes they really don't know what the best way forward is. A lot of these people don't realize that there is help available. They don't know how to access it, where it is, or what rights they have. The only thing I'd like to add is I think that grassroots charities, are the future. And I think if they are empowered, I think they could make a massive difference to the people that really need their help.
My name's Sophia. I've been volunteering with Charity Begins at Home for about 4 years now. I'm currently part of the admin team, and I currently go to King's College, London. I'm studying biomedical sciences, and I'm a first year. So I first heard of the charity through a friend. I was still in sixth form this time, and she told me there was this charity that they feed the homeless. And I was very interested, of course, because when I came to London 6 years ago, I was very shocked by the seriousness of the homelessness issue, because I would just walk around central London and I'd see people, on the streets, and it was my first encounter with homelessness, and it was absolutely heartbreaking. So when my friend told me about this charity, I said, please, take me to the charity. I'd love to go and help and do whatever I can. And she gave me Salim's number. And immediately Salim messaged me, and he said, okay, you would like to volunteer? And I was like, yes. He was like, do you have a minute for a call? I was like, sure, absolutely, I have a minute for a call. It was all very spontaneous and in the moment. And we had a call. He was absolutely fantastic. He was, you're welcome to come on the Friday. We're looking forward to see you. And that first Friday was honestly absolutely life-changing. I absolutely loved it. And I feel like it exposed me to a different side of homelessness. People normally hear about homelessness, and most of the information that they have on this topic is through news, right? Or the people you pass by on the street, because a lot of people don't engage. So they don't get to see the stories behind these people. And as the person I am now, I view homeless people completely different. Because these are people like you and me. These are mothers, these are daughters, these are brothers, sisters. They are people who have had to go through horrible things, and yet they persevered. And when you come on a Friday and you meet them, they will smile at you. Regardless of what has happened to them, they will smile and they will be so polite. And obviously, you meet those odd people who obviously they're going through so much, and it might be harder to interact in an amicable way. But it genuinely opens your heart and your mind to truly understand that this is about humans. This isn't about some ostracized group of people who have chosen that path in life. Absolutely not. This isn't a choice. So I think it has completely changed my perspective on homelessness, on people. Whenever I meet someone, I try to make them feel as loved as I can, because sometimes you don't see that they're missing that, right? So I have become a completely different person. And I'm so glad, because when you go to charity, you go with the idea of giving. But now that I look back, I noticed that they have also given me something. I have learned so much, and I am the person I am today because of them, right? Because of all these people that I've met and all their stories. And they've contributed to this person that I'm proud to be. This magazine, to describe it as technically as I can first, I'd say that it's a collection of articles of volunteers on different topics, on different issues that are prevalent in this homelessness issue, okay? More than that, I think it is a call to action. It is calling people to realize that there is more to this than it seems. And it's showing that everyone can do something. Even the littlest action can have a humongous impact on someone's life. So this magazine truly encompasses all our hard work and all these volunteers who have gone out to research these topics and are very passionate about it. And when you read it, you truly can tell these people are passionate about what they're talking about, and it's their interest, and they want to help. They want to be part of the change. So that's more or less the summary. The most striking moment is actually a good one. So this was in the beginning when I first started volunteering, and I was handing out food. Now I mostly walk around. But when I was handing out food, and we were giving out these treats, so it was like this dessert, sweet treat. And there were only like 4 left, and we still had a lot of people to go in the line. And this person in front of me, we were offering 2 per person, right? And this guest, I offered them 2, and they said, no, I'm okay, I'll just take 1. I said, but it's okay, like we can give you 2. And they said, no, I'd rather someone else get it that they also need. And it was so humbling in that moment, realizing that people who have had everything taken away from them can still give so much and can still have that heart to care about others and not just think of themselves and have that selfish nature to them. It was striking, genuinely, and I think about it to this day.